This is a Glass Box Media podcast.
Spooky Halloween episode. So speaking of that we talked a couple weeks ago about like what our most annoying like Halloween trend is. And I said like unnecessary sexy costumes, right? And I also want to clarify that I don't mean any sexy costume because I've been known to enjoy a sexy costume. However, I heard that this year there is going to be a sexy hand sanitizer costume.
Oh, wow. I thought you were going to go with sexy plague doctor.
No, thank you.
Oh, you know what?
Because I've seen that one too.
Sexy plague doctor is actually kind of creative. I think that would be funny. Like you got the big like
the beak
nose
mask.
mask. Yeah. But no, this is sexy hand sanitizer costume and it's basically a swimsuit with like a clear plastic apron situation on it and then like they give you a bottle of hand sanitizer with the costume.
Oh my God.
Okay. Also, where are you going, ma'am?
Where are you going? That was my question. Where are you going?
You're going to look like sexy hand Sanny and go sit on your couch and watch Halloween? Like, what you doing?
On a Zoom call where people can only see you from like the neck up. It's,
no, but you know, like anybody who's going to buy the sexy hand Sanny is going to a party.
Is going out.
Like that person is going to a party for sure.
Yeah, I follow like West Hollywood sends me like alerts like when something's going on in the neighborhood or whatever. And so they texted the other day as a reminder that the big Halloween parade is canceled this year. I know.
God damn, that's so sad.
Fuck you, 2020.
Man, do you know how like provided there's a vaccine and things start getting back to normal, do you know how like off the chain 2021 will be? Like we've all been starved for parties. Like our group is a partying group.
Pre-gaming all of 2020.
Our alcohol tolerance is through the roof.
I
like,
know. I'll be like, turn down for what?
100%. Oh God, like those parties are going to be wild. I see it now. Like we don't know. We're not going to know how to behave. Like all of us together in a room again.
Well, I do find solace, I guess, in the fact that like my birthday was one of the last things we got to celebrate.
Brag.
And I do think that everything's been such a shit show that I think that I won't get my birthday this upcoming year for 2021.
That's true. But you know who's going to get fucked over? The March and April birthdays because
I think you guys miss both.
I think we're going to miss both years, man. And it's some bullshit. It really is because I had planned
fair.
You know, I missed my 30th birthday. And so I had planned on having a wild 31st birthday party because I was like, this is surely going to be over by next year. We're going to be like ready to wildin' out. And I don't think that's going to be the case. So
I think here's my idea. July 23rd.
Okay.
We have a post-pandemic extravaganza featuring DJ Khalid, and we celebrate all them birthdays.
I hope so, man. I hope
it's everybody's birthday on that day.
Yeah, because me and our friend Michael Scotty, shout out to him, we both turned 30 this year.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
I say you guys didn't. I say we actually all get to subtract 2020 from our life.
Yeah. Okay. How about?
Yeah, all of us.
Yeah, and how about? I'm actually like this might be a good idea.
Reclaiming
how
it.
much do you think it costs to book DJ Khalid? Because
Too
I'm
much,
like,
girl.
if
Probably
we splitsies, dude,
Oh,
July
man.
23rd, post-pandemic birthday extravaganza featuring DJ Khalid.
I mean, that would be hilarious, but I don't think we got the money for that. Can we dip into the business account or like?
Wow.
Join our Patreon at myworstdatepodcast.com
so that we can
all
hire
come.
DJ Khaled.
Oh my God.
You know what, though? I'm not trying to give that man more money. He doesn't go down on his
Right?
wife.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, true.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. I bet we get Bone Thugs.
Oh,
No.
I bet you we'd save a lot of money going that way. Yeah, that's true.
But you
I
know
don't
what?
think
I'm
they're
with
doing
you.
anything.
I'm with you, Cassie. I didn't use this year, right? Like, I didn't use it the way it was intended, so I'm going to start telling people
I
I'm
want a
29.
refund.
It doesn't count. I'm 29,
Yep.
and if I don't get a birthday
right.
next year, I'm 29 next year, too. How about that?
That's
There you go.
damn right.
Oh my gosh. Well, what else is going on this week? Oh,
Okay. I have to share something with you guys that I found extremely disturbing. I was on Facebook today for my 5 minutes, and as I was scrolling, I ran across this thing that a friend of mine posted, and it was like, hold on, let me read it, the title of the article for you. A third of people only wash their bed sheets once a year.
What? I'm sorry. I for sure thought you were going to say like once a week or something, and I was like, well, that doesn't seem
Nope.
so bad.
Once a week seems normal. Once a year sounds like a fucking
Do you know how many
gross.
like creepy crawly like dead like skin
my
mites
God.
are in
my
there?
whole body itches.
I'm legitimately cringing right now because I'm like, sometimes I let it go to 2 weeks. If
For
I'm
sure.
honest,
I was just gonna say,
I'm
there's been
generally like
times-
once every 2 weeks. If I'm
For
being
sure.
completely
I'm gonna
honest,
say
Same.
probably
Me too,
the
actually.
worst I've ever done. Just like busy fucking like weeks, you know, especially when I was traveling. I may at my absolute worst have gone like a month.
For sure.
Absolute
that has
most,
definitely
and I
happened
felt
to me, and I have
gross.
definitely been like, I've definitely pushed it to the point where I'm like, we have to wash these sheets
Oh,
But
right
we've got,
now.
We've got
Yeah.
3 animals. You know what I mean? It's like
Oh,
it's
right.
you cannot go to sleep. Like you're literally
It's
drowning in animal fur.
Won't your body be like itchy a year?
my
Like,
body itches just talking about
dude,
this.
and okay,
A
let's
year.
just like really get into it, because it's like, not only do you
It's
have
gross.
oils on your body, right? Like that
Mhm.
stuff is transferring, dust, whatever your day is. You know, I've definitely had days when I'm like, I should take a shower before bed, but I'm too damn tired. Like that's all transferring to your sheets. You're having sex probably
Ugh.
on these sheets, sweat,
Farts.
other liquids, farts.
So
I mean-
many bed farts.
So many farts.
The amount of like fecal particles.
Oh God. Oh.
Your dirty feet. Oh my God. Honestly, this is the most disgusting thing. Like, I legitimately, like, look, my son is a dirty 23-year-old boy, and that kid still washes his sheets every 2 weeks. I will say that it's probably, I would prefer it to be more, but I don't get to control his life necessarily.
Because you get that feeling too. Is there
But-
anything better than crawling into a freshly made bed that's like
the
clean?
best.
Mhm.
Oh my God.
Yes.
It's the best.
And by, you know, like the opposite of that, you can feel like when you get into a bed where you're like, it's been too long. You know
It's
what I
like
mean?
You just sleep on
Princess
the top.
and the
You're just
Pea
like,
with
nah.
all the body crumbs, you know?
Oh, dude,
Oh, God.
I will tell you, like, I will do sheets, like I said, on the real rig. The thing that I don't do every single time is the duvet cover.
For
because
sure. It's big.
That is more of a once a month. It's big. It's a lot of work. That is monthly though.
Mm-hmm.
The duvet cover gets washed.
I do that
Every
when I
month.
do my sheets, actually. Yeah, it's just
Do
because
you?
of the animals. Yeah, yeah. It's just like, and both me and Eric have allergies. I'm like, if I didn't do it, we'd
yeah.
be a fucking mess. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Dude,
Oh my
okay.
God, that is a frightening article.
So
But then
have
I saw something else about like, what is it, like a third of or some ridiculous percentage of Americans think that chocolate milk comes from brown cows.
No, that can't be true.
No, I hope that's fake.
That's fake. That's a Snopes. That's an Onions article.
Mm-hmm.
That's got to be an Onion article.
No, yeah. I don't think they listen to the podcast, so it's fine. But I have some friends out here. They have 3 dogs, and 2 of them are big. One of them is very, very big, right? Like much like a mountain dog. It's a Bernese or something like that.
Aw,
Enormous.
Bernese Mountain Dog. They're so
Freaking
pretty.
Beautiful dog, right? But they got 3 dogs. And I was talking to them, and they were like, well, the dogs sleep in bed with us. And I was like, all 3 dogs?
Holy cannoli.
And they were like, of course, all 3 dogs sleep in bed with us. And I'm like, what?
How do you have
what, the California King?
Yeah, like, first of all, how big is your bed? Like, first thing. And then secondly, like, how do you do anything in bed?
That's some best in show
and
moments right there. You better get that busy bee.
Busy bee.
Oh. And again, like, when it comes to cleaning, like, you got to be washing your sheets like every other day if you've got dogs sleeping in bed with you like that. Like, I don't mind dogs sleeping in bed with you, but I just mean like 3 dogs, like big dogs, and 2 humans. No.
That's a real full regular washing of the sheets. I can't imagine. I cannot.
I find it hard when I have, like, if the cats come in and, like, lay in bed with us. They don't sleep with us, but if they did and they, like, got in bed with us, sometimes it's hard to get comfortable with 2 cats and another human. Like, you know, trying to, like, do the jigsaw puzzle pieces of sleeping. I can't imagine if it was, like, 3 big animals.
Chuck likes to come in. His thing is he likes me to build a cave with my knees up and the blankets over them so he can go into the cave. And then he wants me to put my legs down, so I surround him with my legs. So I make a bed for him underneath the blankets. That's what he wants until it's time for 4th meal, in which time he will get up, act spicy, and be like, hey, bitch, 4th meal time.
But how do you
and
sleep
then I go get him
with
his
your
4th meal.
legs up like that?
Oh, I have to lay them around him. Like, I have to make like a little bed around him.
Matilda
with my
likes
legs
that
down.
too. Okay, I see. And yeah, before I have the animal people coming for me, I don't mind animals sleeping in bed with you at all. It's just the logistics of 3 dogs. You know.
Yeah. Oh, especially like big dogs like that. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. I was watching. We've been kind of obsessed. We've been on this Louis Theroux kick. Do you guys know who he is?
He's British, right?
Yeah,
or English.
He's an English guy that has done like all these different like documentaries, and he did one on the Miami-Dade prison system that's fucking fantastic, and he did, but he's like. He did one for the Westboro Baptist Church. He like hung out with them for like weeks and like talked with them. And it's just so bananas what he's able to get people to say. He doesn't come off as judgy, but he also doesn't come off as accepting either. So these people, I mean, it's just like wild stuff. It's really good
I
vacuuming the grass stuff. Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, some people love to share their crazy. They're like, here it is, guys.
Because I don't think they think it's that crazy. They must not. You know what I mean? Because if anybody had any like awareness, I don't think that they would be that open about it. But you know what's kind of like, this speaks to who I am as a human being, that the only reason why I kind of knew who Louis Theroux was is because on the Great British Bake Off, somebody made a cake that looked like him. It's the only reason. And it like lodged in my brain, and I was like, okay, I know who that is.
But he did one did one on polyamory that we watched the other night. And this is the reason why I brought it up, is because he's interviewing a throuple, and they all like shared a bed. It was 2 guys and 1 girl, and they had and I thought that this was brilliant. The way that they shared the bed is they each had their own blanket pillow situation.
You know what? Anthony and I did that for a while. We did that for a while in like the hot summer, right? When it was like we have different level of blanket comfort.
There you go.
Like, you know, because one person gets much hotter than the other person. So we would get in bed and like I'd have my little blanket and he'd have his little blanket.
Yep. And that's how this throuple has maintained the peace in the bed, is because they're not like fight. One of the guys isn't getting shafted on blanket. They all
so it's
each
2
have
guys?
their own. 2 guys and 1 girl in the middle.
Okay.
And that's how they sleep.
I would be so claustrophobic in that situation. Like,
I feel like I would be too. Yeah. And I definitely wouldn't want to be in the middle. Like, I'd be all sweaty. Like, I already, and I'm pretty sure I've talked about this in the podcast, like, I am not a snuggler when it's time for bed. Like, I don't want you touching me. Like, we can, like, cuddle before we decide to go to sleep. But when it's sleeping time, I am rolling over to one side. I don't want you on me. Like, I need the freedom of movement.
My favorite cuddle time is like when the alarm goes off, but you decide to press snooze.
Yes.
That
That's
is
an
my
appropriate
favorite cuddle time.
Yes.
But yeah.
Because if it's before bed, I'm worried that you're going to fall asleep on me. And then I'm going to have to
elbow you. Politely.
Have to hurt you. Get off of me.
Yeah. So who should we fuck, marry, kill this week?
God, I feel like we need to do something Halloween-y, but I don't know. Like, we already did, like, classic Halloween characters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We've already done costumes.
Mm-hmm.
What about horror movies?
Oh, Cassie,
like
have you seen any
movies? No.
Oh, okay.
They all die.
Before we fuck,
you're
marry,
like
kill.
Charlie Brown and the Great Pumpkin.
I did want to tell you, Christina. So they put out a list of like the scariest movies. They did like a scientific test, right, where they like hook people up. Right. This was on the Daily Zeitgeist, so Cassie may have heard it. Like they hook people up to machines where they measure like your heart rate and your blood pressure and like all that stuff to determine like what is the scariest movie actually.
I heard it was Sinister.
I was about to say Sinister and Insidious scored like super freaking high, and like movies like Hereditary had like a major like dread factor, like scored high on the dread factor, but like all those old ones like Exorcist and stuff scored really low. But I was like, I wanted to tell you because it validates the both of us for being scared.
Dude, that movie effed me up. He made me watch The Mist the other night, which was actually pretty good. I actually like that kind of horror movie.
It's not bad.
I'm not scared of like monsters in that way.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Monster movies don't really scare me that much, and it's kind of a monster movie. But it was also the dude that did Shawshank Redemption. So
is Mark Wahlberg in that one?
No.
Okay. God, Mark Wahlberg's in one that is a little
too.
silly. So okay.
No, it wasn't.
That was the M. Night Shyamalan one that you're thinking of, isn't it?
That's the one. Yeah, don't watch that one.
Yeah.
No, yeah, this one was kind of
Not
an
Signs,
older movie. I don't think Signs.
But I have seen The Mist, and I remember liking The Mist.
Oh yeah, I like it. It had Marcia Gay Harden in it as this like crazy Christian lady.
Yes.
It was bananas, but definitely I would recommend it. She's awesome.
She plays a Karen like nobody's business.
She sure does, dude. She sure does.
Oh my God. Speaking of Karens, we went to 7-Eleven earlier today to pick some stuff up on our way home. And this guy was like on his phone, speakerphone, getting you into a fight with this woman who is named Karen. And Eric's like, we just needed to run in and out. We spent far too long in that damn store.
Dude, of course you did.
He was like, vacuuming the grass. I was like,
gotta know how this ends. I gotta know how this ends. Dude, my brother was showing me stuff on Reddit, and I can't remember what like Reddit hashtag whatever it was, but it was like public meltdowns or something. And this video, I'm gonna have to try and find it for you guys because it cracked me up. It was like these two girls. One girl, like they're in the street and like one girl's up on the other girl's car window and talking shit. You can tell she's talking shit. And the guy is sitting at the Taco Bell drive-thru and he's recording them. But at the same time, he's like ordering his food. So he's like, yeah, I'm going to take like 2 quesadillas. And he's like videotaping them. And the one girl gets out of the car and then they start like fighting in the street, like pulling hair, like rolling around on the ground. And meanwhile, he's just sitting there like, and I'm going to have a Mountain Dew Code Red. Like,
oh no. He's like, I can't be fucked with this.
That was amazing. I'm going to have to try and find it and send it to you. But also for everyone who was just yelling at their TV screen, it was The Happening was what I was thinking of. The one with Mark Wahlberg.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Did I just say TV screen?
Well, tomato.
Whatever, dude. I'm tired.
Jeez.
Well,
fuck,
we did do horror movie like villains.
We did like the classic. Yeah, we did like Freddy, Jason,
and Michael Myers.
Oh, we did, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, last year before maybe.
I think what else?
Gosh.
Halloween Candy.
Oh, we did that.
Did we? I don't think we did.
Yeah. Oh, I thought we did.
Well, first of all,
maybe not.
Fuck a candy corn, am I right?
Oh,
fuck.
God.
It's about
Kill
to be
it.
divisive
Kill
because
it.
some people really love that shit for real.
It's terrible.
I hate candy corn. It's the worst. If I wanted to eat wax, I just save up my earwax and eat it later.
Ooh.
My least
I mean,
favorite,
that's what I feel like I did.
sugar daddies. I hate those.
It's just caramel.
It's not. It's a teeth-breaking nightmare.
It is. It is.
You got to get it warm enough.
don't
You got to
love
give
it.
it warm enough. I don't
my
mind a
God.
sugar daddy. I mean, like, it's not my favorite. Like, here's the thing. I don't know who's going out and buying this stuff. Like, when
Right.
they're shopping for their candy for, like, do they hate children?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because I'm just
And
like,
here's dum dums.
I'm
That's
okay
all
with-
you dum dums
I'm
get.
okay with a sugar daddy, but I would never buy it for, like, to hand out to children, you know?
Divisive thing I'm going to say here right now. A Tootsie Roll is just a brown candy corn.
oh,
Yeah. Kinda.
oh, that's rude. No.
I don't know if you're wrong.
It's not the same.
Have you read one of those stupid lemon ones?
Oh,
Okay, the lemon ones
Oh.
can fuck off. They really can.
It's like a pledge favored candy corn.
Okay, but all right, I'm gonna unite us because I'll eat a Tootsie Roll. I'm gonna unite us right now though and say that the worst candy of all time is a goddamn circus peanut. Have you ever had
Oh.
a circus
That's
peanut?
disgusting.
Why do those
Fuck
still
you.
exist?
No,
Who
it's
is making
is
them?
that?
Who are they for?
What is it?
It's
What is
like,
it made
it's like
of?
a marshmallow type consistency on the inside, and then like a waxy.
If they told me
outside.
they got the stuff to make circus peanuts from Mars, I would believe it. It
It's-
does not seem like
it's-
something that comes out of
it's
nature
not good.
from
Like,
Earth.
Who
It's like
likes
a
it?
candy corn and a peep had a baby.
Ooh, goddamn. Mm-mm.
It's horrible.
No, ma'am. I don't like that at all.
Oh, yeah. So, okay, fuck, marry, kill, our least favorite
Okay.
Okay,
Halloween
I don't.
candies.
Nobody gets those circus peanuts for Halloween.
I got them when
They're
I was
like
a kid.
not
But
individually wrapped.
I got them when I was a kid, but like I for sure have not been trick or treating in.
There was
well over a decade, so-
one lady on our street that would hand out a box of sun-made raisins and a prayer book.
Oh, fuck off.
You just
That's
wanna be
pretty much the
hated.
worst.
You just really
I
want to be
hate it.
hated. Like, why even give the raisins at that point? Like, if you're just gonna hand some out, just give them the prayer book and go.
I mean, like,
ma'am.
and if you really want to convert people, give people like a fucking Snickers or
A
something.
full-size
You know what I mean?
Snickers.
I'd be like, I really hate
Yeah.
raisins. So does that mean I hate? You know, like,
Jesus,
you gotta
like,
try to sell me on this.
Yeah,
Right.
it's not a go for sure. Like she's not a good saleswoman at all. But okay,
Get that Hershey bar up in there or something.
something.
Okay, the worst ones. Okay. What are those? Were those called like bottle pops or bottle
Caps,
tops?
the
They were
bottle
like cola
caps.
flavored bottle caps.
Yeah,
Oh,
mm-mm.
God.
Ugh,
God, those are
What's that-
chalky.
What's in that? Just like sugar water?
Just pure chalk.
probably.
They're not
Yeah,
good.
Just chalk. Just cut up.
You know which
pieces of
other
chalk.
ones were also bad is the soda pop ones, the ones that were like shaped like a bottle of soda pop, and you like bit off the top and it had
Yep.
like liquid inside.
That's what I was thinking of.
That shit's gross.
The wax.
The wax
Ugh.
lips. You remember the
Ugh.
wax lips?
But at least the wax lips were kind of funny. Like when I was like 8 or whatever, I'm like, this is cute. I'm
But
not
you
going to
could
eat it,
them? Ugh.
but it's funny to put it on my face. Like the bottle caps and the candy corn, they serve no purpose.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so are you going with bottle caps, Cassie?
Yeah.
I'm going to go
Um,
classic then and go candy corn.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to do sugar daddies. I don't
Okay.
like working that hard on candy, and I feel like that's conducive to how I feel like I would have to kill it because it feels like that's the type of person that you have to like suck their dick for like an hour.
I mean, you're
You know
not
what I
wrong.
Mm.
You're not wrong, but you know, I don't know. Maybe I like to work for it a little bit because I fuck with the now and later too. Like
Mhm. Oh, I like now.
I'm into it.
Bit of honey. Do you remember bit of honey?
A bit of honey.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Oh my god, my mom used to get those. They're so good.
God damn.
All
Okay.
right. What are we doing?
So those three.
But I will have to say the flavor of the sugar daddy is the best of the
Superior of the
Yes.
three, for sure.
three. Yeah.
Full superior.
You know what? Okay, I know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm going to
Okay.
do.
I think
Okay.
I know too. Okay.
I am going to actually fuck the candy corn. Okay? I'm going to fuck the candy corn because I feel like the candy corn has been dogged on for so long that it will be grateful and it will work hard.
Yeah,
It will work
I
hard
doubt
for
it.
me.
It's very,
Okay.
I doubt
very
Chad
sweet.
will.
Yes, it's going to be very sweet, which is maybe not my favorite for a fuck situation. But anyway, I'm going to do that because the bottle caps are just so dry and chalky. And there is nothing about that sounds appealing in a sexual situation.
Have you ever kissed somebody whose mouth was way too
dry? Mouth? Oh, God.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, I have. You feel every bump and texture on that tongue?
Can you imagine what that's like in other places?
Sandpaper, and I'm not into it. There is nothing about a bottle cap that I feel like I'm going to get something from this situation. So it's a pass for me. And then I'm going to marry the sugar daddy because it's the best flavor of the three of them. Yes, it's probably going to make you work hard. Granted. Yes. You're going to work hard, but also it's a sugar daddy, okay? So you're working hard, but you're getting something in return. So
return.
I like your reasoning, ROI Keegan. Is so much better. I think I'm on board with your logic on this. Your breakdown is kind of perfection.
Yeah. Well, then I'm going to be the one who has to fuck it up. And here's why. Candy corn is so fucking disgusting. And it takes too long for the ROI is not good on candy corn.
You're not wrong.
So thereby, I would rather do a quickie with a bottle cap, just chomp, done, in and out, be over it.
Swallow some water, get some water down you, and then...
and just finish myself off later. That's fine. Yep. It's done. Then fuck around with some dumbass vanilla-ass candy corn. Mama ain't got no time for that shit. And then I'm on board with marrying sugar daddy for all the reasons. The name, the flavor, I'll put in the work because the flavor's on point and I don't mind. At least I'm not sucking a candy corn.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was just gonna say, I thought about it, and I'm really torn. I'm on board with marrying sugar daddy as well, even though it to me like the amount of time you have to spend just like working it in your jaw is so much. But
save some for later.
Fucking bottle caps or candy corn is really hard because I've thought about it. Because in neither one,
we both presented good cases.
You did, and it makes me like think back to those situations where I'm like, where you're not into somebody long term. Those one night stands, you're just gonna fuck them. Which is worse? Which is preferable? The sweet guy, nice guy who's like. Ugh. Going to try to make love to you, or the dry thing that's going to be over quickly before you're done.
They're both very
terrible.
Bad. Yeah, they're both very bad because
neither
dry.
One is fun.
Oh, I don't know if I dislike anything.
This is like voting for president. Which is worse?
Oh, get in, bitch. We're compromising.
I gotta say, Cass, I think I'm leaning towards you because there's something about like. The
guilt level's less too.
Exactly. I don't feel so guilty for bottle caps. You know what I mean?
I feel
to
like
fuck them and leave them.
I feel like I just lost at a speech and debate. You know what I mean? Like I presented my case. Felt like it was a strong case. I was feeling confident.
Yeah. It was a strong case.
That's a good one.
It was a really strong case.
So we do have a new patron this week.
Yes.
I want to give a shout out to our girl, longtime listener from the very beginning, Michelle Church. Hi, hello, welcome to our Patreon family. We are so happy to have you. As always, you've been an OG from day one, and we love you. So thanks.
Yes.
Thank you. And this is My Worst Date Podcast. I'm Christina.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Cassie.
You guys want to take 5 and we'll come back with stories?
Yes.
Sounds good.
Cool.
And we're back. All right. Hit it, Christina.
All right. So this story comes from Reddit. You will, at one point, trigger warning, have to do math. So.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I'm bad at math.
Oh, this guy will spell it out for you, though. So it's a fun math problem. So let's just dive in and play.
I got my pencil and paper out.
Okay. Okay, so I'm halfway around the world from where I grew up at a friend's house for a party, and I meet this attractive young woman. She was 19. I was 35. We chat for a bit, and it was fun.
Already, Cassie and I are like, record scratch.
I wasn't really planning on taking it anywhere, as she was a little on the younger side for me, but she was bright, funny, and
She still has teen in her name, okay?
A little on the younger side, my dude. I mean, she is legal, like, so props to you, but like,
Exactly. She was bright, funny, and seemed to have a good head on her shoulders, so I was enjoying the conversation. Unfortunately, I got a phone call about a work issue that was on the urgent side, so I had to cut the evening short to go deal with that. I told her it was pleasant to chat with her and wished her well in the program. As I turned to leave, she stopped me and asked if I'd like to grab a drink sometime and continue our conversation. I figured,
grab
why
a
not?
drink? You're 19, honey. Is
No,
this in England?
Well,
She
This
said
could
it's
have been
halfway around the
almost
world.
anywhere but the US.
okay,
so
okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Sorry for being so judgy.
I figured why not, gave her my social card and told her to email me and we'd set something up. The next weekend, we went out for drinks in the afternoon and not only continued our earlier conversation, but had one of those long, winding talks about life where you'd both be on the same page and bonding over stuff. So while I hadn't gone into it with romantic intentions, she was definitely charming, attractive, and fun. I was enjoying her company, so I invited her to continue the afternoon into evening and join me for dinner. Things really just seemed to click between us, and the chemistry was great. As our conversation got deeper, we started talking about where we grew up. And while I knew she was from Chicago, she talked about the suburb which she grew up in, and I remarked I knew it well. She was surprised and asked how. I answered that I had gone to a summer camp for several years in Wisconsin, and many of my friends from camp lived there. So I had taken to stopping over and spending a few days with my friends before and after summer camp. She immediately knew which camp I was talking about and mentioned that her mother had gone there also.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Continue. I'm sorry. I've had a few things.
No.
First of all, we're back in the States. So, but okay, proceed.
My spider senses started tingling, but it was the next words out of her mouth that chilled my spine. Did you know, insert her mom's name, was she there when you went there?
Oh.
I choked on my drink. Not nearly choked, full on choked. I did, in fact, know her mother. We had dated and slept together for a good part of the summer before I turned 16. I quickly did some math in my head. 35 minus 19 equals 16.
Oh, no.
Instead of answering her, I cautiously asked her when her birthday was. She told me the date and asked why.
What do you mean, why? Why do you think he's asking you?
Fortunately for me, the timing was off by several months, so I was safe, but the realization of how close I came to having just spent several hours flirting and ogling with a girl who literally could have been my daughter entirely killed the mood for me.
I should hope so. I should really hope
First
so.
phone, I would have left and been like, I got to make a call real quick.
Also,
Let's get your mom on
several
the phone.
months in which direction? Because I'm like,
Right.
look, people come early and they come late all the time. So I still don't like it. I don't like it.
I don't like when you have to do math problems.
I
thinking
sure
that
don't.
You're sitting there with your
And
daughter,
also,
sir.
again, look, it's legal. You know, I understand like age is just a number and stuff like works out all the time, right? And who am I to judge? However, look, okay, I was in the drive-thru at Taco Bell the other day. And it was across the way from, I'm in Springfield, and MSU is like right by my parents' house. It's the college, and there was like a soccer team playing in the soccer field while I was in the drive-through, right?
So you got to see close hand what a 19-year-old looks like.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Because, like, I looked over and, like, it's a bunch of shirtless guys. So I was like, okay, like, let me look at this. And I was like, oh, no. College-age kids are babies. And they're look like children. Babies. Mm-hmm. And, like, I can't see myself ever wanting to date a 19-year-old. And look, again, I understand that it might work. And that it works for some people. And, like, that's a thing. But, like, for me, I'm like, what are we going to talk about? What's going on? Like, for me.
Well, I hate this.
Okay. Alrighty then. This one is also from Reddit. Met a guy on my first week at a job where we held events on a college campus I attended. Asked for my number in front of all of his friends. Me, being dumb and 18, said yes to save him embarrassment. Next day, I come out of my dorm and he is waiting outside. No idea how he knew where I lived as he didn't text or ask.
Ooh.
Red flag. He says he's been waiting outside for a couple of hours to see if I want to get lunch.
No, I do
Spidey
not.
senses.
If you listen, first of all, it's creepy for someone to know where you live, but it's also, for me, just a huge turnoff that you don't have anything else in your life to do.
Yes, right. My guy. What's up?
Right.
You don't have a job or hobbies?
A hobby? Friends? Anything.
I say sure so I can at least give him a chance, even though I was seeing major red flags. I said we should eat on campus, but he wants to go off campus. He takes me to a family dining Italian He takes me to a family dining Italian place, which I had never been to before, and asks what I want to eat for us. I suggested the lasagna, as it's the cheapest thing on the menu, and I wanted to go Dutch. Waiter comes and orders my drink for me, and he orders my drink for me. Whoa there, bud, I can order for myself. Again, I've said this on this podcast before. I don't like that. I don't like it.
Yeah.
And then gets the lasagna and some chicken tortellini shit. Mind you, this is supposed to be enough food for 8 people, and he scarfs it down and then asks for the rest of mine.
What are they, like at Buca di Beppo?
I know, like giant-ass portion. But I feel like a lot of Italian places give you, like, way more pasta than you need, you know? Conversation is totally dead, and he can only think to tell me about how he's scared of his 12-year-old sister.
What?
Imagine that conversation. I'm looking around the restaurant, and when I glance back, he is making a really weird, embarrassed face, and he says sorry. I ask what for, and he says he just passed gas. I told him it was okay. Everyone does it. Then he leans over and lets out the loudest, nastiest fart I've ever heard.
Oh.
So bad that people all over the restaurant are staring at us.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
He says, oops, it slipped.
You lifted your leg, sir. That's not a slip.
You leaned
That's
forward.
a push.
You were preparing for it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I asked for the check and said I needed to get back home. He said he was planning on us going to get ice cream, then the movies, then bowling, and maybe back out to eat again.
Oh my God.
My God. Have you kidnapped her?
Marathon date. Like, absolutely not.
No, I'm good.
I politely declined and asked to be taken back. As I'm getting out of his car, he hands me a note and tells me to text him when I've read it. I take it and get the fuck out of there. I'm spilling the deeds to my roommate when he texts asking, is that all right? I'm half paying attention thinking he was asking about the date, and I text back saying, yeah, it was fine. He replies thanking me over and over again and can't believe I'm okay with it. I pull the note out and actually read what the fuck he's talking about.
Oh, no. I have chills.
It is typed note, which already
How
I'm
is
like,
that worse? It's so much worse, though.
Because someone took the time to get on log in, get on a computer, open Word, type it up, print it out.
Assuming they have a printer. Yeah, exactly.
Like,
maybe
or
you
you're
had to
at
go
the
to
public
Kinko's.
library. Like, my dude. it's a typed note which has my full name on it. Can you imagine? It's like Keegan Marie Winfield.
No.
Remember, I met him the day before and never gave him my last name. And it's a full Bible verse. And he tells me he's a, quote, second chance virgin and had lost his virginity to another woman. And he's deeply apologetic. And he asked that I not try to seduce him to have sex during our relationship.
Wow.
What the fuck? Who is this guy? I text back.
Oh my God.
Terrible. I text back saying I think he has the wrong idea and had to politely tell him to fuck off since he kind of forced me into a date and that I did not imply we were in a relationship. He texts me 2 weeks later asking to hook up before he leaves town. So much for that second chance virginity shit. And she says, P.S. I kept the note for proof of how ridiculous the whole thing was. I want to see that note.
Dude.
She's like, bitch, I got receipts.
Receipts.
Oh my God.
Do you think that was just like, that was totally had to be like a play or something like that for him to get, you know what I mean? That typewritten note. I'm sure he had that Word doc save on his computer and he just printed it out for
before.
He just fills in the name. He just fills it in. He goes to Facebook.com, tries to find her through mutual friends, figures out her middle and last name, and then fills in the blank. But what college student do you know who has an at-home printer? Like, that motherfucker had to go to FedEx.
Yeah, no.
I hate this.
Ugh.
Terrible.
Ugh. All right. I also got mine from Reddit. I took a girl out to a fancy dinner at a well-known steakhouse that's about an hour away from where we lived. The dinner itself was great. She commented her steak was fantastic and she wasn't used to eating such high-quality, juicy steak. As we were waiting to
I don't know why that's funny.
I don't know why that's so funny.
It's so funny to me too.
Why is that?
I've never
had a steak so juicy.
Quality steak. As we're waiting to exit the parking garage, she held her stomach and started freaking out, saying she needed to use the bathroom. I told her to run up the stairs because we were stuck in the middle of a long line waiting to leave the garage. She screamed at me to drive onto an empty floor. It was closing time. All the cars had left towards the exit already. Once there, she started barking at me to get out of the car. I was at a loss for words and I didn't know what was going on, so I obliged. She had shat herself on my passenger seat.
Oh, no.
Let me repeat. She shat herself on my passenger seat.
No.
I was shocked, but also empathetic. Obviously, if she could have held it, she would have. Luckily, I had a blanket in my trunk, so she took off her dress she'd shit in, put it in her purse, and wrapped herself in the blanket.
God. I feel so bad for her. I feel so bad for her. Imagine the mortification. You'd never recover.
Horrible. The hour drive home was the longest hour of my life.
An hour?
Both windows
we
down.
cracked our windows, trying to breathe through our mouths in an effort not to smell
am I
her
the only one who
feces.
doesn't want to breathe through the mouth, even in that situation? I'm like,
No.
the poop particles
Almost
in your mouth.
worse. Almost worse. I had her drop me off at home so she could clean my car and mess at her place and come drop my car off the following day. She cleaned what she could and then she took it to a place somewhere to have it professionally cleaned. I feel so bad whenever someone sits in that seat. He's like, worst date ever.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
We stopped talking shortly after the accident/incident. Oh, but I'm like, at least she went and got it professionally.
Honestly,
cleaned.
she did the best she could in that situation. I feel for her because nobody wants to be there. Like, if that happens to you, like, of course it wasn't intentional. No one wants to have that situation happen.
Yeah, it's the same as my
God.
dog. Like, I'm like, I know he doesn't want to have an accident in the house. Like, he's old.
It's the
It
same
happens.
as your dog.
You know what I mean? Shit happens. And he has that same
Literally.
look on his face, when he, like, can't make it outside. And and I'm just like, baby, it's okay. I know you don't want to shit in here. Exactly. The same. But yeah, it works out the same too. Like, I mean, you either never talk again or you're married now.
Yeah, it's one of two things.
That's true.
'Cause you don't remain casual friends with somebody who took a deuce in your passenger seat. Like, you really
No
don't.
way. No.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Well, okay, guys. Are you ready for my crazy in love?
Yes.
Yes.
That I told you guys that I struggled today because not only did I want to find a crazy in love, I wanted to make it a spooky Halloween crazy in love. And I think I found the ticket. And God bless the Sling app and Investigate Discovery for coming through.
Investigate.
Investigate. Because they have a show entitled American Monsters that gave me this lovely story. So let me get everything ready to go here. So I got most of my information from that Investigate Discovery, and then I found a Medium article, and the woman that wrote it actually had gone to school with one of the people involved in this case. So yeah,
intel, firsthand intel.
So Brian and Randi Trimble were like this perfect couple in the late 90s. They met up while they were both applying for a job at a daycare center. And there were 2 openings, so they both got in, and they met and bonded and started dating. And it just seems really perfect. Like, their relationship progressed. He was kind of quiet and nerdy, and she was like really like fun, outgoing, super smart, very, very driven woman. And, you know, all things lead to the altar. So they get married, and there's lovely footage of them on this Investigate Discovery channel of their wedding. She's got this really interesting gown. I think for the year 2000s, it was really nice. I like the shoulder pattern it had, but I don't like that it's got it's short sleeved. I don't love it. I would have loved it better as a long sleeve.
I'm gonna need. Yeah.
Now I'm like, I need to see this.
I'm gonna need Cassie to post that on our Instagram when this episode comes out, because I'm sure all the worsties want to weigh in on that piece of fashion.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's definitely a year 2000. They get married in the year 2000. And
year 2000.
What's really moving about their wedding is that shortly before they got married, Brian got diagnosed with MS. And, you know, Randy's mom, who she's like best friends with, is like, honey, I know you love him, but is this the life that you want for yourself? MS is not curable, and you might not be able to have kids. He might end up in a wheelchair. This is very serious. Like, you need to think about this. And Randi was like, nope, like, I love him. I will stand by him. And so she started working 2 jobs to start saving money, the nest egg, because she did want to have a family. She did want them to be okay, you know, even though he'd just been diagnosed. Like, his speech was already starting to slur a little bit, but it wasn't too bad yet.
It was pretty advanced then, because I have 2 cousins who have MS. And so I feel like that's pretty far down the line if things are like that.
Well, that's how they got the diagnosis, is because she's a speech pathologist, and she started noticing little changes in his speech patterns. And so it was still kind of early on when they got married. So at this time, Brian's not working at the daycare center anymore. He had kind of like flopped through jobs and stuff. He wasn't as driven as Randi. So he starts working in the IT department, and he gets to be really good friends with this guy named Blaine Norris.
Blaine. Every time I hear that, I think of Pretty in Pink. The Jason Spader character. Or wait, is that his name?
No, not James Spader.
James Spader. Yeah, in Pretty in Pink. His name... Oh, wait, no, it's not him. It's Matthew McCarthy. His name is Blaine. And Ducky says it sounds like an appliance. That's all I ever hear now. I'm like, Blaine. Okay.
Blaine makes me think of Waiting for Guffman, which is what's so perfect for what's coming next.
Oh, God.
Because Blaine, even though he's working IT during the day, he has movie star dreams. He is convinced after seeing the Blair Witch Project that he can make the world's next hit horror movie.
I mean, to be fair, that movie shouldn't have been a hit either. I rewatched it recently and I was like, this is a mess. Like, this movie's a mess. So, okay, where do they live?
They live in Pennsylvania, right next to the Appalachian Trail.
Mm-hmm.
So Blaine and Brian are like kind of nerds. But kind of, they like play D&D together and all this stuff. Totally into horror movies, that sort of thing. Nothing wrong with that. But they get fucking into this idea of making a movie. They like write a script. They start making plans. Brian is decent at photography and has professional camera equipment. They're like, we could do this. We could totally make a movie. So they start casting actors. And in the Investigate Discovery Channel show, if they don't show these people's auditions, girls, I was screaming.
Yes. I'm on board. I want to see them. Ooh, I will spend my night watching that shit. Ooh, I'm excited.
What was the name of this show again?
It's American Monsters. And
those poor people. Oh God, those poor people in like middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania, who are like, this could be my big break, and they're giving it
for
their
a horror
all.
movie.
Oh God, I don't. I was like, part of me really wants to watch it, and the other half of me is like, oh man, I don't know if I want to watch it.
Nothing ever happens on Mars.
Oh God,
boring. So
wait, I'm sorry. It's a musical?
No, it's not. It's
God, I thought
it's from Guffman. Oh my God, no, but
I thought it was a horror musical for a second. Okay,
first of all, listeners, if you have not seen Waiting for Guffman, it is a fucking treasure.
It is,
and I think I revere it so much for anybody that's had any kind of theater background. It is so spot on, priceless, that it's one of my favorite movies of all time.
The first time I watched that movie, I was doing community theater in Missouri. And so I was like, yeah, this tracks.
So they're going through the whole thing. They're auditioning. They write a script. Blaine's like, Brian, I came up with a killer title for our horror movie. And he's like, lay it on me. The title is Through Hike, a ghost story. What? Exactly. What does that even mean?
Terrible title. And is it like
Through Hike?
THRU? Hike?
Yeah. Well, it's like O-U-H. Through Hike.
OUGH.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
It's so weird. Anyways, I guess there's a documentary, and we looked forever for it. I'm sure maybe you can go down a YouTube rabbit hole and find it, but there's one called Rough Cut, which features behind-the-scenes footage from this movie with the actors and doing interviews and everything like that. So if you really want to see that, I did not think my cringe factor could handle it. So, but it's out there if you want to see it. So, okay. It's like Randi and Brian have been married for a little bit less than a year. Brian goes to Randi and he's like, I love that we're comfortable. We have a house and we have this nest egg that you've saved up of $20,000.
Of how much?
$20,000.
Okay.
Because she's working 2 jobs and saving all this money because her husband has MS and she wants to have a kid. Okay? So he's like, I would like to have that money that you saved and take a week or 2 weeks to live on the Appalachian Trail with no cell service and make an amateur horror movie. You want to play through that conversation in my head?
No.
Because I was like, I turned to Eric and I was like,
any one of these women right here, sitting right here, imagine the conversation. Any one of us. Cassie, you with Chris, me with Anthony, Christina, you with Eric. Like, imagine it.
I'm all for supporting dreams and everything like that.
Listen,
so I don't want to come off like. but not this dream.
Also,
Dream
too,
better.
though,
I would be gentle.
better
I
dreams.
really would. I would be gentle with him if it happened. I'd be like, I respect
I
that
need
you
more
want to
information.
do that. However, it's a lot of money and we have plans. Like, I would be gentle about it, but in my head, I'd be like, hell nah. Hell nah.
Mm-hmm.
There is no. Listen, I'm going to say it right now. Maybe I just don't know Brian well enough to say yes. Because if Chris came to me or Anthony came to me, I feel like they'd have like a really well thought out, put together, like full
this is very
plan.
different. If Chris or Anthony
You know what I'm
or
saying?
Eric were like,
For
we want
sure.
to make a movie, I would have more
Yeah.
faith in them than I do for Brian
Right,
Trimble.
because you know what would happen
Who's
is
not
they would come
working
to you with
also.
all the shit, right?
Mhm.
Like if Anthony's going to come to me and ask for money, which he would never do anyway, like, but if he
Right.
was going to come to me and be like, so I would know if he was asking for money. First of all, this is something that he really thinks is serious and will succeed, and he would show that to me. He'd be like, look at
Yeah.
all of this stuff, like, and he'd get me on board with that sort of thing. Just coming to me
Right.
and being like, hey, all of that money that you've been saving, working 2 jobs so that we can have a life, can I have it?
Yep.
No.
So that's what Randy says. She's like, no, like first and foremost, like that money's for our life together that we're building.
Our
And
future.
secondly, like you have MS and you can't make those hikes and be out in the middle of
That's
nowhere
right.
with no cell phone service. Like I'm not okay with that. And Brian just kind of quietly is like, okay.
Gotta
And
do it
so-
anyway, though.
He goes to Blaine and tells him, and like they're like really close to the shoot date now. They've got all their ducks in a row.
No,
And
they
Except
don't,
for the
'cause
money.
They ain't got that money.
Except
That's
for the
exactly
money.
right. Like, I'm like, you don't.
That ain't gotten ducks and shit.
Why-
Yeah.
Production 101, my guy. You don't have a shoot date until you have the money. Like, what's-
and Brian was the camera guy. So now they're out money and the camera guy. And Blaine's like, I have a dream. You know what? I'm going to do this anyways. Like, I know I'm a IT guy by day, but I'm Tarantino at night, and I've got this. I can do this.
Sir,
And so
you are
what
not.
he does secretly, because he is also married with a young baby, so his wife Wendy and his young child Mason have no idea that in order to finance this movie that's going to be the next Blair Witch project, he has actually put their house on the market.
You motherfucker. I wish a motherfucker would. Can you imagine the rage?
And ladies, when I say there is found footage of her coming to the Appalachian Trail to find him,
Oh,
bitch.
shit.
Yes. Oh, God, yes. Oh, I love the drama.
Oh,
so, like, he's like, 'cause
wait.
there's
That's
behind-
actually the horror film they made.
exactly.
It's his death when she finds out his dumb ass.
Do you
Okay.
know
Ugh.
how mad a woman with a new baby has to be to hunch your ass down in the wilderness with
in
no
the
cell
woods.
reception?
In the Appalachian Trail, this bitch right
This
here.
bitch got a
With
map.
a
She got a
baby.
paper map, and she found your ass. Like,
like compass
And a
in
compass,
one hand
yep.
and a newborn in the other.
oh God!
Like, when I find this motherfucker, I swear to God.
Oh God! Oh man, I want to see that footage so bad.
Oh, my Lord.
So his marriage is over. It's done. Wendy's like, bye, deuces, go
Good
fuck
for
yourself.
her. Oh God,
And
I'm proud of
Blaine's
you,
like,
Wendy.
We're gonna finish this movie. Blaine is directing it, the cinematographer, and he's also starring in it at one of the parts or whatever.
I'm sorry.
And
I know
it
it's
is
going to
a
get dark
goddamn
at some
mess.
point, but right now, this is the funniest fucking Crazy in Love we have ever done. Like,
Jesus.
Mess. That's why I was like, they're shooting a horror movie. I was like, oh my God, perfection. It was such a relief to me too, because I put so much pressure on myself for this one. But yes, so It's a mess. When you see all of the things, he makes some of his actors get in a lake. Like, the premise of the movie is that there's a group of hikers that go into the woods, and there's a ghost of an old miner who kills them off one by one.
Original.
Which the old miner, his audition, his one line in the movie is, "Why won't you come join me in my mine?"
No, sir.
So
Tarantino, you are not.
Oh,
Yeah.
goddamn.
yeah,
Like,
it's a mess. They're behind schedule. He's racked up 18 G's in credit card debt alone, and it's just a mess. But it finally ends. It's done shooting. But Brian is so envious that Blaine got to live out his dream. Pretty much. Like, he's not just an IT guy. He had a dream or whatever. He risked it all, and he made it something happen. You know, it's not Blair Witch Project, but he's making it happen. He still has to edit it and everything like that. But so Blaine and Brian are talking at work, and Brian's just like, "My God, I just am so angry. I just feel so trapped. I feel trapped. I can't believe like I wasn't allowed to do something like that. And I feel like my whole life is just going to be baby office, day after day after day. And I just feel trapped in my life." So
You can leave.
on January 10th of 2003, it's a cold night in a quiet Pennsylvania suburb. And Randi gets home from one of her 2 fucking jobs, and she parks in the garage like she always does. And there's a man in all black that attacks her, strangles her, and stabs her 27 times. Brian is at TGI Fridays with his friends because he doesn't work 2 jobs, and comes home and finds her body in the garage and calls 911. So the police come, and they're like, it's always the husband, but they're like,
husband was getting some, onion
potato
rings.
skins.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He was at TGI Fridays. The waitress remembers him. The friend corroborates it. Airtight alibi. So the case goes cold. They're like, we have no idea, like, who wants to kill this person. It must be like a random person. And the other thing that annoyed me about this case is that the whole house was ransacked, but nothing was taken. People,
yeah.
if you're going to stage a burglary,
Take
my
some
lord.
shit.
Burgle.
You got to do it. You got to do it. Like, I don't get that either. Like, classic Dateline mistake.
So they know it's not a real burglary, but they're like, the house is trash and this beautiful woman is dead. Brian seems really upset, and he's got an alibi, so we don't know where to go from here. So it kind of goes cold. But they keep pressing on Brian because one of the veteran detectives is like, just
Some don't feel right.
I don't love it.
Say, I don't love this. So he just like kept calling him daily to check in on him. Here's what's going on in the case. What's going on with you? Asking him a couple questions, but like daily, every day. They finally think they have enough. They've interviewed coworkers, and coworkers are like, there's one coworker named Tracy who's like, you know what? Like, he was, saying he wanted to divorce her right before the holidays. And then, like, I don't know. You need to
God
look
bless
at him
you,
and Blaine.
Tracy. Tracy was like, I'm not playing no
Real
games.
hero.
The other thing that helped is that they had confiscated a computer in the house when they did the search, obviously when the crime was committed. And they found on his computer a document called, like, How to Get Away with Murder.
You dumb motherfucker.
Okay.
Like, oh, goddamn.
So they bring him in, and he goes in with his mom or whatever, and they're like, all right, they don't have like shit or whatever, but they've leaning on this psychological warfare they've put him through for the past few months. And they're like, so you tell us how this happened for real, because we know that you're involved somehow. And if you do that, we'll take the death penalty off the table. And he turns to his mom and he's like, Mom, can you wait outside for 5 minutes?
Oh.
Oh,
no.
no.
Can you go
Yep.
outside and shut the door, please?
Exactly.
Thanks.
And so then he confesses and says that it was Blaine. Blaine Norris was waiting in the car or in the garage and committed the murder. They pick up Blaine. He confesses to the whole thing. So it was basically
Jesus
a
Christ.
plot. The big payoff for Brian was that she had $100,000 life insurance policy. And the big payoff for Blaine was that he was going to get 20 G's to pay off his debts and hopefully try to like win back his wife and finish his movie.
$20,000 is not enough. I mean, look, no amount is enough, but $20,000 to kill somebody? Really?
Wow.
Yep. And they're both life in prison. They're both over, but God, if I don't kind of want to see that horror movie.
I totally do.
Oh,
I
my
do want to see
God.
it. Like, this is a tragic story, of course, but my God, like, imagine just being that delusional. Like, you have to be
Right?
completely disconnected from reality. All of it. All of it. The
Yeah.
movie, the murder. Why would you think any of this would work out?
Why? I mean, granted their ages. I mean, Blaine was 25, like at the time of his arrest. So, but even still,
I mean, you're taking a real person's life and you're completely fine with that.
Mhm. For $20,000.
Wow.
But
Yep.
you know what? I've heard people doing it for way less, so.
right? So yeah, that is the story of Brian
Wow.
and Randi Trimble and Blaine Norris.
Jesus.
Wow.
There you go.
Wow.
Happy
Well,
Halloween,
well.
ladies.
Oh, God.
Wow.
Oh,
Well, speaking of things to watch, I've been watching Unsolved Mysteries.
Yes, the new
Just
one or the old one?
Released. Just released their a second round.
Oh, shit.
yep.
Yeah. And so Chris and I started those, and it is so good. The first two stories I knew because of podcasts, funny enough.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you'll know them too. The one about the guy from Mansfield, they had like a whole series of podcasts about that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay, I'm
And
excited.
he's still missing. It's good.
You know, the thing is, I know there's a lot of good shit to be watching. I know. And I keep telling myself, like, you have to watch some of the good shit that's out right now. It's spooky season. Spooky season is my favorite. So tell me why every time I get a spare minute, I'm fucking still watching Housewives. Like, I'm like, I've just been watching nothing but Housewives and The Expanse. That's all I'm watching. Like, Kenya Moore was just introduced for all of you Atlanta
yeah.
housewife heads, and that bitch is crazy. So that's where I'm at
Yep.
right now. And watching Seinfeld to go to bed. Like, that's what I'm watching.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I told you guys earlier in the podcast, I'm like on a big Louis Theroux kick. And yeah, besides that, it's really been, Eric started watching Boardwalk Empire. He'd
Oh, that
never
show.
watched it before.
Mwah.
Never seen it either.
Oh my God, that
And-
show is perfection. It is so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, so I'm rewatching
like I should check it
with
out.
him.
You
Steve
should
Buscemi
absolutely. Yeah, Steve
I love
Buscemi
Steve
is
Buscemi.
fantastic. The whole cast is fantastic. And Cassie, you should watch it for like hair and makeup and clothes alone. Like it's
Yeah.
like a visual feast.
So, funny story about that. One of my hairdressing friends, a girl I actually used to work together with in Columbus, she won an Emmy for doing hair on that show.
Wow. Well,
Oh,
amazing
cool.
job
Yeah.
because that show is beautiful.
Right. Yeah, it is. It's really, I think because I've watched it before too, it's like the perfect thing. He puts it on before bed and I'm like, gangsters. Nighty night.
Night night.
Yeah. Well, if you guys have television shows we should watch, if you have stories, it's getting towards that time again where it's my favorite time for you to write in stories of meet the family for the holidays.
And holiday parties. I know we're not
Yes.
having any
Yes.
this year, but in the past, have you taken the wrong person to a holiday party? We want to hear about it. Oh, we want all the details about how they embarrassed you in front of all your coworkers and your boss. I want to know about it.
Oh,
I want to
so
know
we had such good stories.
the
about
family
that.
drama. I want to know all of it. So go to our one-stop shop of a website. It's myworstatepodcast.com. And we love you guys so much.
Cheers.
This is a Glass Box Media podcast.